If you have a top like this that's knit from the top down with a neckline where you just cast on at the beginning and then work your project, the neckline can stretch out. I love knitting like this. It's really easy, you get into the project quickly. But especially in a plant-based yarn like this one, this is Sanna's Garden Lena, it's nice to add a bit more stability to that neckline so that it doesn't stretch out, or if it's already stretched out a little bit, so that you can add a bit of stability and snug everything back in and get the exact fit that you want. This one I'm wearing, I love how the neckline fits right now, so I want to freeze it and keep it exactly as it is. And this in a larger size where there's more fabric and more weight, it's kind of already stretching out a bit just with the extra weight of the fabric. So I'm gonna do a simple little fix to add some more stability with some crochet. Don't worry if you're not familiar with crochet, if you can at least do a chain, that will help. But this is going to be the simplest crochet. You will need a crochet hook, slightly smaller than your working needle, around the same size you used for the ribbing is probably good. This is a 3.25 millimeter. And the working yarn, or just any firm yarn in a similar weight or slightly smaller, something nice and strong in a color that will blend in. I'm going to show you how I do this with a contrast color first, and then I'll switch it out for my working yarn so that it's invisible. But just so you can see what's going on, I'm going to start at the center back, roughly, doesn't have to be precise. I'm going to go down my ribbing and then find the first round where I have purl bumps after the ribbing columns. And then I'm going to insert my hook under one of those, grab my yarn, just leaving a tail long enough to weave in, and pull that through. And then I'm going to go along until I get to the next purl bump, go under it, grab the yarn and pull it through, and then pull it through the loop already on the hook. And continue like that, so go under the next purl bump, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then pull it through the loop on the hook. Now I've done a few stitches. You can have a look at how this behaves. So you can see I can't stretch it out as much if I compare it to this area that I haven't done yet, where there's a lot of potential stretch. And then if I turn it over, it's actually almost invisible, the blue, but you can just about see it poking through to the right side. So I am gonna just rip this out and then start over with my working yarn. Just about back to where I started. You can see my first crochet stitches here. I've got one purl bump on my neckline unworked, so I'm going to do one last slip stitch. And then I like to finish it off by going under the legs of my first crochet chain. So that's here. I'm going to go under both legs of that. Bring a loop of yarn through, and then through the loop on the hook for a final slip stitch. And then I've already cut my yarn, so I'm going to just pull this final stitch until the end of that yarn pops out. And then I've got a couple of ends to weave in here, and then my slip stitch stabilizing crochet is finished. My neckband now won't stretch out of shape. I am going to just finish it off with a little steam with my iron, just to get that ribbing to kind of snug back up to where it originally was when the knitting was finished. And then I'll show you the finished result and how it looks compared to before I added the extra stabilization. This is the completed neckline with the slip stitch crochet to stabilize it, and I'm really pleased with this fit. I think that's exactly how I wanted it to be. It's still this nice breezy wide neckline, but it just feels a bit more secure and like it's not going to keep kind of drifting wider and wider as it's worn. So super pleased with that. I did do the one I'm wearing as well. Probably looks about the same as when I started, but that was my goal. I just wanted it to feel a bit more secure and like it was going to stay where it was at the moment. So yeah, worked perfectly. If you found that helpful, I hope you give it a go. And if you're interested in trying this pattern, this is the Liesl Tee and it's available on my website, Ysolda.com and Ravelry now. See you next time.